guys, so as I had promised, I bought a new brand of colored pencils. And this isn't a review, I'm just going to swatch them out and kind of do a first impressions. And then after I've actually played around with them, I'll do a review. Or who knows, maybe while I'm swatching them, I'll decide they're not worth it. So, Art and Fly. If you have been looking for alcohol markers, you might have stumbled across this brand, and a lot of people are recommending this brand opposed to Copic. Like, some people even say like they are the cheaper Copic but perform just as well. I can't testify to that because I haven't bought those. However, I was browsing their site and I got a little curious because if their markers are so comparable to Copics, which are like $300 something for a 72 set, I'm curious if their pencils are as good of quality. So, when I went to look at their colored pencils, I found that they have a 72 premium oil-based colored pencils. And I always get a little intrigued by budget oil pencils, only because a long time ago I took a chance on Shapir Farbin, and they turned out to be like one of the best pencils I've ever used that are budget. Now, that's not to say that all budget oil-based pencils are good. Most of them are crap, but I was intrigued, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to give these a go. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I'll put it in the description below. It was cheap, though. It was like 30 or 40, maybe even cheaper than that. I had bought a case with it too, just in case I keep them, so that's why I can't really recall the price. So they come in a tin, kind of like how Derwent's do, except this one has hinges, so you don't have to lift it off. It has this really pretty butterfly, and then it just says the 72 premium oil-based colored pencils, smooth, vibrant, easy to blend, will be the judge of that. The back really doesn't have anything fancy schmancy, just kind of, again, reiterates. So when you open it, on the inside of the cover, you have the colors and the color numbers. Now, one thing that got me super happy was they are in literal order, 1 through 72. So no like weird things like Prismacolor where it's all random. So I liked that. The color names are pretty generic. And then pencils, like Derwent, if you get the Derwent pencils in the 72 tin, you get 2 trays. And that's pretty much what is going on here. Let's pull a pencil out. These honestly remind me a lot of Derwent, just the way they're colored. It's a Color Soft, I think, that uses this color. But either way, it's a brown barrel with a color dipped end and a little silver stripe. On one side it says Art and Fly. On the other side it says the color name and then color numbers down here. Now, one thing I can tell you right now that I do not like is that the color name is right here in the middle of the pencil. So once I sharpen this down, I only have my number, which is fine. I got a chart, but I really hate it when they do that. I did sharpen these. You should always sharpen your own pencils when you get them. There could be a residue and whatnot on the lead from manufacturing, and you don't want that when you're swatching. It'll give you a false impression. So I did sharpen them. They were all rather blunt and kind of a lot shorter, so I had to chew away some wood to get the sharpen I like. But they all sharpened well, none of them broke. I did notice a couple were off center, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. But really, the true test will be, sorry, moving things out of the way, swatching them. So one thing I will warn you about is these are the cheapest, flimsiest plastic thing. So it's not like Derwent where you lift out the tray and it's solid. This is like a Castle Art level tray. See that? Ooh. So beware. But alright, let me move those. Okay, so swatch chart. I just used my usual chart that I get from Mystic Sparkle Wings. It's on Deviant Art. She has a whole package of them. This is her 72 count one. She seriously has like a chart for every possible number. 72, 75, 100, 120, 102. It's insane. Normally I go and use my photo program and type it all in and make it look pretty, but I wasn't sure if I'd end up keeping these, so I didn't want to waste the time. But I chose the option with the numbers and names. You can actually get these charts without the number boxes. So like with my Derwent Lightfast, because there is no name, I just did one box and then I just wrote, there's no number. So then I just wrote the names there. So now it is time to test. I usually don't test much or say much on the first lighter colors because every brand, they're always creamy on these yellows. It's once you start diving into more color that you kind of really get a feel for it. White is not going to show up on camera, so I can tell you right now though, this white is scratchy. Oh my. Very scratchy. Could just be the white though. Okay, the invisible color. Now we're on to yellow. Oh, excuse the gel pen. I was unclogging a gel pen earlier. Oh, that one's scratchy too. Okay. I'm not going to fill in the whole box. If I end up keeping these, I'll go back later and do that. Just don't want to make you guys sit here forever. So it's smooth on top of itself, but when it's touching like bare paper, I'm noticing some scratchies. Lemon. I had this problem with Pablo's, which is one reason I returned them. They were scratchy. I just did not like those Pablo's. This one's pretty soft. And it's definitely softer when you layer it on top. It's a pretty color. Okay, we are on to Dandelion. Everyone's favorite weed that pops up in your driveway cracks in the summer. So basically, I'm just pressing hard and then slowly lifting up on the pressure. These are definitely softer than Polychromos and even softer than Shapir Farben, which are both oil-based. I'm going to need my brush. They do have some dust, which my Polychromos do not. But again, I'm not really going to compare these to Polychromos because Polychromos are professional, expensive. So I'm going to compare these more to Shapir Farben. So they are dustier than Shapir Farben, but softer than Shapir Farben. They are most definitely scratchier than Shapir Farben. Coverage is pretty good. Okay, so here's one that I found weird. This is called Sepia, and in just about every other set I own, Sepia is a darker brown. And on this one, it's kind of a yellow brown. Ooh, that one's super scratchy. Keep trying to turn it so that I don't have the scratchies. Because I don't know about you guys, but that scratching noise kills me. Not too bad. Like I said, they're scratchy on the uncolored parts, but like once you layer back over, they're smooth. Just might be a pencil that needs a base layer. So honey. Of course, that wouldn't really jive with my coloring style because I don't really love putting down base layers. I do it with my luminance because I've noticed luminance really need that base layer. But Yeah, I'm not really a fan of having to base coat. I just want to put it down and get on with it. Interesting color. Interesting order. Color order. Okay, butterscotch. Oh, butterscotch. That sounds so good right now. Kind of an orangey. This one does not come out very well. I guess it's meant to be a lighter color. Yeah, see, so they're definitely smooth on top of one another, but that makes me wonder how they would blend. Alright, Tangelo, however you want to say it. Ooh, this one's soft. Normally it's the yellows that are uber soft, but this one's not scratchy at all. And it is creamy. How odd is that? Normally it's the yellows and creams that are soft and you notice like things get harder and scratchier. Wow, that one was super soft. Maybe I jinxed it because I had said, hey, these colors are normally softer. Alright, pumpkin. Oh, this one's kind of scratchy. So we got some inconsistencies, that's for sure. And don't take what I'm saying as negative, by the way. These are just like first impressions. I'm swatching. I haven't colored anything with these. So I can't really give you a review or anything. I haven't done any blender or erasing tests. This one is called Cinnamon. Oh, yep, it is a brown. It does come in a smaller set. I think they have a set of 48, maybe? They come in like a tube. But the price of the 72 was not bad at all, so I was like, I'll just do that one. So it does take a good amount of layers. They're not like creamy like a Prismacolor where you just smush them down. But I mean, that's because oil-based usually are that way. Paprika. Oh, this one's super silky too. It's like I get teased with these silky ones and then I get a scratchy one. But hey, I'll tell you already, I like them better than the Pablos. And Pablos were like $200 something, so score. Alright, this is called Tiger. They went with like super basic. Most of them are one word. Nothing cute or creative about their names. I'm gonna tell you that much right now. But just because a brand has a super cute or complicated name doesn't make it easier either. I mean, Luminance with their freaking terms. I can't even pronounce half those pencils in my Luminance set. Especially that new one. I swear whoever created that was like, hey, you know what would be fun? If we use these names that no one can say on camera. I'm pretty sure they did that. Brick. I picture brick as more of a more traditional like red brick color. This is more brownish. It's not ugly though. It's not super pretty either though. It's in between. Alright, chili. So I'm assuming chili red and not chili beans. Oh yeah, see that one's scratchy. Ooh, scratchy scratch. I'll probably use these. I'll test it out on an advent calendar, honestly. That'd be a good way. Alright. True Red. Always curious to see what a manufacturer's idea of True Red is. Ooh. No, I hate the scratchies. They always give me, it's like chalkboard scratchiness. Just gives me chills up my spine. It's not unbearable, it just, yeah. Being super sloppy here, but like I said, if I end up keeping them, then I go through and fill out the whole box, but I don't want to do that on camera because we'll be here for days. Alright, crimson. Oh, see, now this one's silky smooth. So they're definitely not very consistent. But see what happened here with the sharpening? Let's see, oh, come on camera, focus. So I have a huge thing of wood that came over here. They're color dipped, so it makes it harder, but you can tell it's off center. Is it a big deal? No. I mean, I've gotten so used to my Prismacolors being off center over the years that I'm a pro at handling off center pencil leads. The only time you can't do it is when they're like severely off center, and at that point that's when you're like, I need to refund here. Okay, so pomegranate. It's a pretty color, but it's not really the color of a pomegranate to me. But it's not bad either. It's a pretty nice color. Okay, so mulberry. That's actually a really nice color. It takes layers really well. I'm not even going to pronounce that. Byzantium? I'll have to look that one up, unless any of you know. Ooh, this one's ultra scratchy. Scratchy, scratchy. So I'd say what, like 90% of these are scratchy? Like I said, those Pablos are super scratchy, and they're like a really good pencil, supposedly. I'll never know because I couldn't handle it and I returned them, but I have like zero desire to go back because not for that much money am I going to put up with a scratchy pencil. Alright, lipstick. Lipstick pink. That's not bad. It's hard to swatch at this angle. I normally turn my page. Yeah, it's a pretty good color. Alright, now we're on to fuchsia. Oh, that one's really scratchy. I hope their markers are a little more consistent than their pencils. And maybe that'll just be what they're known for. They'll be known for their markers and not their pencils. Kind of like Ohuhu. They make really good markers, but really crappy pencils. At least in my opinion. Alright, magenta. Oh, yikes. Oh my. This one's very scratchy. But again, they layer really well, so that's good. I mean, obviously, like with any oil base, you'll have to build up your color. It's a lot harder to just smush them down. Ooh, this one's scratchy too. And I'm using a pretty smooth cardstock because I like smoother ones. I'm not a fan of the toothier ones. I've tried the Bristol Vellum Can't stand that. I've tried the Strathmore and oh man, no. I need my paper smooth, silky, silky smooth. So I use Nina Astro Brights White. It's like 6 something. And I just put it on my subscribe and save. And I do it for all my swatch charts and PDFs because I just like them smooth. This is bubblegum. Now with Strathmore and all those toothy ones, they're great for extra layers because you have all that tooth. Whereas these smooth ones, not as much. But like I said, my coloring style, I don't like to sit there and layer for hours. I remember one time I watched someone and they were layering skin for 3 hours. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I was done like 20 minutes in. And skin does take a while, but I'm not this type to sit there and layer for days, is the point. So I don't need a paper that accommodates layering because I'm not going to layer. It's funny, a long time ago I made a swatch video of those Cezanne, however you say it, budget pencils. And I never posted it because I only got like here. And I was like, yeah, I'm returning these. And I know a lot of people love them. I mean, they're even sold now on art supply stores, which is rare for those super budgety ones. I am not a fan. It's not too bad. I mean, we have pretty good range of colors going on so far. Very vibrant. Lavender. Please forgive if my kids make noise in the background. I've recorded a few videos today and I think they've just kind of hit their breaking point for being quiet. Alright, I am gonna angle this a little. So now we're on to Iris, which is a bluish purple. Very scratchy. I don't know if the camera picks up the scratchy sounds. Probably would if I wore one of those mics, but okay, we're on to navy. So I'm doing this thing. I always like to drink a lot of water anyway, but I'm trying to get back in the habit of drinking a gallon of water a day. And so I bought this gallon jug that kind of breaks it down by hours. And the worst one is the 7 a.m. one, because I'm like, but I just drank all my coffee. I can't chug that much water. And depending on what studies you read, coffee technically counts towards your water intake to some of those. But yeah, so I'm working on it. And I'm up to like 3/4 of a gallon. I have yet to make it the whole gallon. But it's only been like, what, 5 days? So doing pretty good. You do have to space it out during the day. You can't like just go chug a gallon in 4 hours. Not unless you want to go to the ER because your electrolytes get all screwed up. But yes, you can actually harm yourself drinking too much water too fast. But I've been doing that. So I just find myself sipping water all day. It's interesting. If any of you do that, let me know how you're doing on that. It will be one of my New Year's resolutions to drink a gallon a day. Back when I used to do it, I had so much more energy. My skin looked good. I mean, my skin normally looks good. I'm one of those people that are just blessed with really good skin. I've never really had issues. guess you can thank my Native American heritage for that. I tan super easily and my skin just stays the way it is. But I did notice like a change in my skin though when I drank a whole gallon, but also I had more energy and a lot of my stomach issues went away because I suffer from chronic gastritis. If you've ever had the stomach flu, you know how your stomach is really tender? Like you could even touch your stomach, which is right under your sternum. And your stomach is not where your belly button is, it's under your sternum. FYI. You touch there and like it hurts, and you know how like after the stomach flu you have to eat a bland diet and you have constant like discomfort. Well, I suffer from that, which is known as gastritis, and it's like an irritated stomach lining, but I have it all the time. I have to watch what I eat, which, man, since COVID and lockdowns, I have not. I'm supposed to drink lots of water, exercise, be on a very strict diet, and all that went out the window in March of 2020. So one of my resolutions will be to get back on that because I've had to up my medication, which I absolutely hate because my condition can be controlled by diet. In most cases, there's certain medications I'll still have to take forever. And the sucky part is every 3 years I have to go get an endoscopy. There's no way around it. I will always have to, because they have to make sure, since I have a chronically irritated stomach lining, I'm at high risk for stomach cancer. So I actually have to schedule that for this January. My birthday's in January. It'll be a new year, and I'm starting it off with an endoscopy. And most of the time, those types of tests are fine. Like they give you propofol, you wake up and you feel fine. However, I am severely allergic to propofol. So you give me that and you will not be seeing me. So they actually have to give me Versed and fentanyl to knock me out for the procedure. And I don't know if any of you have ever had like major surgery and they had to use that combo on you, but you are knocked out, loopy, and just, oh my gosh, it's the world's worst feeling ever. And so yeah, I'm pretty much useless that entire rest of the day. So I'm not looking forward to that, but the whole point was that's why I'm trying to get back to drinking a gallon a day. It really helped with my condition, and then it gave me energy and actually keeps you from overeating. Like they say you should drink a glass of water before you eat. 1, to promote digestion, but 2, so that you don't overeat. It helps with portion control because you're full of water. So yeah, I'm hoping at least by January I'll be able to do the full gallon. But man, it's rough when you first start out, and like the timer on my bottle, like I'll go to pour another cup and be like, oh my gosh, I'm 2 hours behind my goal. It's a lot of pressure. So I have to keep pausing my videos when I do these videos to take a drink, because darn it, I gotta stay on track. I got a lot of water to drink by 9 p.m. But yeah, sorry for that tangent, but gotta fill the void. Sapphire's a pretty color, huh? The blues so far are not as scratchy. Ooh, turquoise. My favorite type of color. Robin's egg blue, but I love anything turquoisey. And no, it's not because I'm Native American. Someone asked me that once. I'm like, no, it's just I like the color. Just because you have heritage doesn't mean like you literally like everything that the textbooks say. Okay. Now we are on to baby blue. I hope that's not the only turquoisey color in this set. That would be a bummer. Most 72 count sets have at least 2. And turquoise is really just a blue-green, but at least most brands have two of them to play around with. That one's really randomly placed too. Let's see. Doot, 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 doot. But at least all the pencils came in order. I've had them like castle art. They had the order on like the chart on their case, but not any of them were in order. It was like the most random order in there. Took me forever to organize those things. And then I had to reorganize them because the way they had theirs organized made 0 sense by color family. I was just like, what is this? Alright, looks like we're getting into some greens. Alright, peacock. I always love this color. It's kind of like a dark turquoisey color. Well, with most brands. Now this one's a lot more green. It still has that peacock green that like other brands have, but not as much blue. But hey, I haven't broken a single lead and I'm pressing really hard here at the beginning, so that's good. That's one reason I like oil-based. I can press hard and not snap off a lead. I do that with my Prismacolors and I'll be going through those extra fast because I'll be sharpening. So this isn't bad. Now, despite me calling these scratchy, I'm really not like, I'm not at the point where I'm going, oh, I'm going to return these. Things are crap. I want to color a picture with them. I want to see how they blend, layer, all that fun stuff. I've only had 2 brands of pencils that I have ever returned immediately after swatching or not even finished swatching. And that was the Pablos and those Cezanne things. I don't even know if they sell those still. Those Cezanne ones, though, had like the most awful chemical smell. I mean, I about puked. It was rough. I like opening a pencil case and smelling like fresh cut wood. But that's just me. Like I said, I opened my Derwent Artist ones and love it. My polychromos, when they were in their tin, oh, they smelled so great. I moved them to a case and they slowly lost that smell. So if I ever replace them, I'm actually going to put them back in the tin because I don't know, it's such a wonderful smell. I know I'm going on and on about the smell of the wood of my pencils, but it's just one of those things that helps with part of the relaxing. I do want to apologize with the lighting in here. I actually had to turn on my lamp in the middle of the day, but that's because it's snowing and so it's really dark outside, and I think I hear a snowplow right now because I heard some beeping. Either that or it's UPS. Because last I looked out before I recorded this video, it wasn't sticking to the roads at all. It was just barely starting to stick to the grass. Oh my gosh, our husky loves the snow. She literally just goes and lays in a pile of it and falls asleep. Just, can you imagine that? Just go lay in a big old pile of snow and that's like cozy to you? And she wants to go out. This one's not laying down very well. And she'll go out there and just sit out there and play. She gets extra hyper though, so she keeps knocking my 4-year-old down. If the snow sticks, my husband's gonna take the kids out there and let them play in the snow. I will be boring mommy doing laundry and tons of work because my work is super busy this time of year. basically all our clients want to get in their, end of the year stuff, and everyone wants to get things done before we close for the holidays. Because my work, we close for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which this year turns into a 4-day holiday. So woohoo! Or 4-day weekend. So it's so crazy busy, and we have a new system, so I'm just dealing with the new system woes that anybody would deal with when you launch a new program. So they can go play in the snow and I'll get my work done. But I cannot wait for my vacation 4-day weekend. Although, if you're a parent like I am, you know that Christmas really isn't a vacation for us. Christmas Day, in fact, is probably the most stressful for us parents because we spend all day putting together our children's stuff, cleaning up the mess. Normally, we also spend the day traveling to all the grandparents' houses, but this year we won't because of COVID. And it's like the most exhausting day. By the time we get home, I'm just like done. So this year it'll be kind of nice because we're all staying home. The kids don't have to leave their toys, because that was always the hardest thing. It was like they open all these brand new toys and it's like, okay, gotta go. We gotta go visit all the grandparents, so you don't get to play with any of this. But I've been trying slowly to swap it and have like the grandparents come to us. When I was a kid, our grandparents came to our house on Christmas Day just because they didn't have to pack up any kids and make them leave all their Christmas gifts. That's why they always came to us. But out here, it's kind of the opposite. So I've been slowly trying to tell everyone, hey, why don't you guys just come here so, the kids can play with their toys. Because otherwise the kids are like super cranky. Like they're bitter that they got all these toys that they don't get to play with. So then you got to deal with that attitude on top of the fact that they woke up early and went to bed late, which means, meltdowns, tantrums. The joys of Christmas. Hardest part for me is cleaning up all the packaging and wrapping. I cannot handle it in my house. So I have to really clean. So I spend all Christmas Day just cleaning packaging and putting all their toys in their rooms or their playroom, because I'm like, I need my house back to normal. Our front living room just becomes like this huge clutter fest of toys and crap. And so yeah, I spend all Christmas Day cleaning it up. I can't even relax. But the good news is this year I will be able to just go straight to the weekend right after and relax. So that'll be nice. That is not mint. They call this mint. I picture mint more turquoisey. I don't know. But that is like some serious green. Oops. This color is called Morning Light. It's a yellow. Very light yellow. It's almost like a cream. Yeah, it is almost like a cream. Huh. Oh, it looks like... Okay, so they have them separated. Normally, creams are up here with the yellows, but it looks like we're getting into their skin tones. That's what's going on here. Because then they have some pinkish peach colors before we hop into the browns. So that's nice. I like it. Some brands will have their skin tones kind of in their own area. So that's cool. Tuscan Sun. Well, some of these are kind of yellowish for skin tone. Just a titch. This one has some red. Yeah, there's some red that got on the lead somehow. It could have been from my sharpener though. Although I sharpened them in order, so this was sharpened before. Who knows? Alright, salmon. So this would be a skin tone. It's a pretty color. Wish it was almost a lighter pink though. But they have this melon one, which might be lighter. Nope, definitely not. The color dipped end lied. That's why you gotta swatch them. You can never go by the color dipped ends because half the time you are not getting anything close. Some brands though, I'll give it to them, they're pretty darn close, like, but still, you want to swatch them. I mean, look at that. No. Alright. Sunset. So I'm picturing like a vibrant pinkish orange, which is, yep, exactly what it is. So I don't know if this would be their skin tones. I mean, these can be used, but a lot of them are kind of all over the place. I mean, yeah, these could be skin tones, but I'm not seeing like a real good beigey color. We'll see. Okay, sandstone. So now we're getting into their browns. Now I know we're gonna get shorted on grays, and I kind of mentioned this in one of my videos the other day. It's the curse of a 72 count set. No 72 count set has a ton of gray, and that's just because we all can admit we would be really ticked if we bought a 72 count set of pencils and they had like 20 grays in there. We all know it's true. That said, we also all know that we really, really want those grays. So I just wish manufacturers would just up it and just do 100. Stop with these 72 count sets. Give me 100 so I get those grays and the extra browns. Because most 72 count sets really lack when it comes to browns and grays. Alright, this is like the weirdest change out of colors. We'll go over the colors when I'm done, but at first I thought maybe we were getting into skin tones, but they're bouncing back between browns and oranges now, so I don't know what we're doing. This could be because these were the extra from their 48 set, maybe? I don't know. I think it's 48 pencils in their other set. Now I'm gonna have to go look. Like Shapir Farben, their 96 set has like a random tray that makes no sense, but that's because that was added on top of their 72. So that was why it was like suddenly out of order. Those were the extra pencils. And so then once you understood that, you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I'm not so enraged now. The Castle Art ones, I couldn't even tell you what that was. I'm surprised I honestly didn't have any duplicates or missing colors with how rando they do that in their packaging. I mean, seriously, no order. And I had a friend who ordered them, and hers were a completely different order than mine, too. So it's not like even the same system. I have no idea. But I wasn't missing one. I had no doubles, so all good. I do know a few people that got doubles with Castle Art, and I'm gonna say it's because of how they package them with that very rando order. I wasn't surprised that people were like, oh, I had like duplicates. That's a pretty brown. Okay, that's it for our browns. Now we're getting into our grays. Ooh, this gray is silky smooth. Very nice. Oh yeah, that's totally got to be a snowplow. I hear beeping. After this video, I'm kind of curious how much snow like dumped in the last half hour that I missed. Ooh, that one got scratchy. Okay. Almost there, guys. And we're on to iron. It's a nice dark gray. Okay. Oh, if I can get this black one out. Their black is called charcoal. Oop, that's definitely black though. And very scratchy and dry. This black one is actually hard to lay down on top of it. Okay. So let's get you guys in full view. Let me pull it up a little. Sorry, hopefully I didn't make anyone super dizzy. Okay. So overall, they have a good selection of yellows, although these two are very close. This one almost seems a teensy darker. These two here are also kind of close, so it's almost like they could have benefited from swapping. Oranges though, we are lacking on the oranges. I mean, we got Tangelo and pumpkin, and then we got this orange brownish thing going on, and that's it. And then they have a ton of red. This is kind of orangey, but honestly more in the red family. But I mean, we got tons of reds going on. They probably could have subbed some of those reds for an orange, because yeah, look at that. Or taken out some of these ones here. Well, let's see. We got some reddish pinks. They aren't too bad. The pinks here are okay. I see some blendable ones. But look at these. They are really close to one another. I mean, for blending, that's great if you want to make a gradient, but they really could have changed that up. I mean, those are awfully close. This is the lightest pink we have, which is a bummer. I always like to have a lighter, like, deco pink. Purples, not a ton of purples. I mean, they're indigo and aubergine are purple. I love how navy's just right here. Woo! Not a ton though. And let's see. I mean, they're pretty blendable. Maybe. Blues, we got tons of blues. Only one turquoisey though. So, no light blue. And I swear, every 72 count set has this issue. They don't have that, like, powder cloud blue like you do with Prismacolor. Their assortment of blues are good, but they've got a ton of these darker ones. And then they just kind of transition to these medium, and then this is the only light one. So, greens, we've got loads of greens though. I mean, look at this. We start up here and work all the way down. So that's a lot of green. So I give them that. Again, these are pretty similar. I don't know if it shows on camera, but to me those are awfully close. Same with these two. This is just a little bit more yellowish. But yeah, I mean, they have this light minty one. Okay, and then the rando colors that I thought might be skin tones, and they still could be, but if this is their skin tones, they've got these two that are awfully close to one another. And then they've got some pinks, you know, pinkish orange, peachish colors, sandstone, and then they got carrot rando down here. So I guess if we're talking oranges, at least we do have a better orange. They could go up here. Browns, we only have 4 browns, but again, Curse of the 72 set. I could make some color combos from these though. Grays, we have 3 grays, which is honestly pretty standard for a 72 count pencil set. And they're not too bad. I would have liked to see a lighter gray. And then we have the black. They could have honestly gotten rid of iron and done something different with the grays. But overall, the colors are pretty good. I mean, I can see color combinations already. I do have a few issues with these colors that are very similar to one another. I mean, honestly, they are super duper close. I think they could have swapped those or added a different pigment or something, because yeah, a few of these are very close together. And so it's kind of hard, but these yellows, we got a ton of yellows, but those are practically the same thing. And so I guess we have 3 oranges technically, or 4 if you want to count that one. This is more peachy. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, so first impressions. This is all I'm doing is first impressions. I'm not doing a review because I'm going to do that later. The packaging totally blows. I will say that, because these trays, like pulling them out of there is awful. So if I keep them, I'm going to put them in a case. Color-wise, I'm going to try and color a picture and use all these and see what I can get. They are scratchy when I was laying them down though. I hate scratchies. Hate it! And there was quite a few that were scratchy, and then there was like these random ones that were so creamy. But they are definitely softer than Polly's and Shapir Farben. However, Polly and Shapir Farben aren't scratchy, so FYI. And then yeah, just the color, you know, my gripe with the colors, I think we're missing some colors definitely here. I don't know if they plan on releasing anything. I gotta research into that. But overall, I don't hate them. I'm not like finishing this and going, I'm gonna return these. Instead, I think I'm gonna color a picture. And I might even use an advent calendar picture. Maybe we'll do that and see what we can come up with. I always try to test these on small ones, like, you know, those pages in Clara Markova. They're usually to the left. They're just little ones. I usually use those as my testers because I don't want to use the pencil too much and then return it and be like, oh, here you go, it's been used. So I might even use one of those and play around with it and see what I can come up with and decide if they're worth it. So give me a couple weeks, definitely after the holidays and after all these daily advent calendars, and I can give you guys a review. If you have these, let me know your thoughts, what you think, if you kind of agree with me about these colors that are way too freakishly close, and what you think of them if you've used them a lot. I would love to know that. You know, do these do well on Johanna Basford paper? Maybe these need a toothier paper, I don't know. So share your opinions if you've used these. I'll leave a link to them in the description below in case you want to snag them. Like I said, they were like ridiculously cheap, so my bar is not set super high because it is a budget pencil. So if anything, when I do a review, I'll compare these to Shapir Farben because they are a budget oil base also. So guys, thank you so much for watching me swatch. I know it can be kind of boring, so I try to change it up and chat about other things, but I will catch you guys here very soon, and well, actually, yeah, definitely soon because we have advent calendars. So until then, take care.